What is up, Rad Potential YouTube, and welcome to today's video at the Rad Ranch, doing rad stuff on rad cars. So, weekend was a mad success. I was not here. I was up north, back where I'm from in Indiana. We did a little car show, did some bike riding with my dad. It was super awesome. So, the vet made the trip up there. We hauled the Specialized Enduro in the back and went to like the first of, I guess, the cars and coffee things that the local guys are going to put on back home. So it should be pretty fun to see how that event progresses. I know I won't be there for all of them, but my parents got their 57 Chevy out. We had the Hurstolds out. My buddy's dad has a pretty good Corvette collection. Had a couple of his Corvettes out. It was a great time. So we're back here, and what are we doing in today's video? We are going to throw some fresh, well, I say fresh, just throw a exhaust gasket on the rear. I didn't have enough, so now I have plenty. And then alright, camera battery died, but I'm gonna be buttoning this up right now. I'm gonna go grab the radiator. Well, put the water air pump on, fan on, radiator in, make sure everything's good and tight. Hook up the rest of all these vacuum lines as we get it done. I need to throw a bolt in to hold this guy down, but I'm waiting to run my wiring harness through there so everything reaches. We verified that the oil pressure and water temperature gauge work, and then I'm going to fire this baby up and get it out of the shop tonight. So let's go ahead and get that stuff done. I'm going to crawl into the car and slap that exhaust gasket in real quick, and then the engine bay stuff should be super fly. So, and I got to remember to tighten this wheel down. I didn't make a video on it, and maybe I should, but there was a guy selling some brake calipers and stuff for a first gen and had them advertised as GSLC when they weren't. So I popped the wheel off this, and then I have GSLC parts laying around and posted them on a nice comparison video to be like, yo, just make sure that what you're selling is what it is. That way somebody doesn't buy it and get stuck with the wrong stuff. So that's never fun. But let's get cracking at this. And we'll come back when I'm getting ready to fire it up, or if I run into an issue. What is up, guys and gals? We are making progress, and it's not even that late. It is maybe an hour and a half from when I talked to you last. Starting to get dark fast, guys. Get your projects done before the summer's over. So, radiator is rad, and it's in. I got to hook up the level sensor and the choke temp sensor thingy at the bottom. Everything else is hooked up. I don't have the AC in the car yet. I'm gonna wait till it's like good and running, then I'll slap that on at the end, just because it makes servicing all of this so much easier. I gotta hook up the fuel lines, hook up the throttle cable and choke cable, and then your like easy start assist cable, which is over here, which is actually not on the engine. So, oh, it's chilling up there. This guy goes down in there somewhere. I believe it is this one. So these are always a pain to get on the back of the engine back there. My tip and trick is if you can find something to wedge under the throttle to hold it and get it in there, and you might need like a bent tip needle nose or something. Choke cable's easy. That one literally, so your throttle cable here goes through this big slot right there. That's where the throttle cable is. Oh, I'm not even showing you what's going on. All right, so the throttle cable goes up over here in the big slot to the right. Your choke cable goes through this top slot up here. It hooks in right there and goes in this top slot here, right there. And then I think it's this bottom hole, but I have tool marks on this one, so I guess it's this one right here. And this one right here is where, no, I'm pretty sure it's the bottom hole. That's where this cable goes, which is like a cold start assist style cable. So, got to get all three of those back on. Hooked fuel lines up, slap the air cleaner on, and should be good to go. The exhaust is all hooked up, double gasketed, we're ready to rock. It's all good. Everything under the car is pretty much good. I've got to slide under there and just hook up the water temp sensor and the oil pressure sensor, because they're better to like see it, get the oil level, all that stuff hooked up, but it's laying in there. And then I'm going to grab the battery from wherever my Adoptima red top is, which I believe it's in the truck. The rotary truck was the last one I drove. And then pop it in here. We should be firing this thing up shortly. So I'm gonna fight these throttle cables to death and we'll be ready to roll. Alright, my dudes. I'm irked right now. Apologize if this is washing it out. So, I got power hooked up dead to the fuel pump, right? 12 volts straight to it. I'm not getting any fuel up here at the front, so you would think fuel pump's dead. That fuel pump was new, and I still have no fuel in the bowls. So if you look right here, flashlight, there's a sight glass inside your carburetor, and once you start pumping fuel, you should have, you should see fuel right there. But I don't. So that irks me because this did work just fine. I don't know if maybe the pump's stuck. I mean, I know I got my wiring right. I verified it on my trash pump, which is wired to hook up to a factory Mazda location. But it's not. We're not getting any science. Everything's hooked up. I mean, it'll. Like, it cranks. I got water in it. It's got oil. It's just not getting fuel the factory way, and I really don't want to like sit my fuel jug up here to run it. Like, I want to make that one work, but it just ain't. It's just not jiving. It does have gas in it. When I turn the pump on, I just can't feel the pump running. Right now, the pump should be on, and normally you can hear them like a nice little. Because they're like jitterbug pumps, so there's like, but I can't hear it at all. So, but what I am going to do right now, for the sake of the video, I'm going to throw some carb cleaner and see if I can just make it light. Then that means that all my car wiring is good. We're getting spark. Yeah, I don't know what the heck's going on with this. I really don't want to. I mean, I did that fuel pump video, so I had the fuel pump hanging down, but that shouldn't have messed up anything. Maybe it pulled a wire out. I guess I could hook up my trash pump real quick to the same. Maybe I'm going to do that. I'm going to hook this fuel pump up to the same lines and have that one pump, and I'll pull this other one off the car since it's super easy. Let's do that. Alright, my dude. So I pulled the Mazda pump off. The original one, and we're gonna hook this baby up to power. So my jumper cables are basically just to get me solid 12 volts back here. Now you can see this mess of stuff, and we made a big fuel mess, which is nice, so let's not start this baby on fire. But so that's the factory Mazda pump right here, mounted to this. Oh, dumping gas everywhere, of course, making a mess. Alright, so this is a factory Mazda pump. Feeling it. It's warm. So maybe the motor's stuck. Or however that works. I don't know. But this pump was like... So, a friend of mine in New Hampshire took his RX-7 apart. And this was the OEM pump off of his car that worked fine. The reason I went with that is because I got it for like 30 bucks. But... which is the same price as a new one, but this one is an OEM Mazda. It's the original pump from the car, and these generally work really well. They're made by Mitsubishi, and they're good pumps. So I didn't want to like buy a repop pump from O'Reilly Auto Parts that's like junk, right? So I got that one. So now when I hook this up, see it jiggling? So that's pumping. So now we should be able to come up here. And if our floats aren't stuck or something dumb. There we go. We got fuel rising in the bowls. And y'all can barely, not really see it. Got a leak somewhere, I can hear it. Right here? Here? There? Oh, no chance. Look at this. Rusty fuel line on the return leaking. Oh, and my floats are sunk. See that? Don't you just love carburetors, man? I'm fully over carburetors. Carburetors suck. These things are making me so mad. Alright, well, now that that's flooded, super flooded, we want to try to start it, alright? See if she'll start mega flooded. Now that we have fuel in the bowls, new trowel, got power. Come on, girl. How about that? No choke. Look, and it's idling by itself. Woo! Alright. A little bit of smoke. Alright, so I'm comfortable with that and calling it a night after that. Basically, looks like we got some stuck floats. I got a fuel pump that doesn't work because I had to use my trash pump, and yeah, it's late-ish, not really, but I gotta edit this video. I've been on the road all day, yeah, that's honestly awesome, man. It's nice and quiet. You gotta think it's catless, just that muffler, so that thing sounds good. So I'm gonna stop there for tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. As you saw, I didn't have to pour any oil or anything down this thing. It fired up. Now, you saw the fuel in the bowls that we dumped in there, so it was pretty flooded. I'm pretty pumped that it started. So, that's a win. I'm going to clean the shop up real quick, let the fan run to blow the smoke out, and we're looking on the up and up for this unit. So, I'm pretty stoked. That was good. Tomorrow will be a fresh day. We'll get home from work. We'll come in here, we'll diagnose that fuel pump issue. Maybe I'll mess with the carburetor, but I'm not a super expert at these. And we'll take this thing for a drive. Need to drive it up to the gas station, fill it up with gas, get it outside and wash it, and hopefully be giving Scott a call this week and he can come pick his car up. Or actually, I'll just probably bring it up to him, but I'm pumped. That's way easier than this thing had ever started before. And as long as we can keep her cool, she'd be good. She don't overheat again. So I flushed the radiator out really good. Nothing really came out of it. It was still pretty clean. And the water pump, everything inspected, looks fine. So let's call it a night. Thank you guys for watching. This thing's running in the car, and I'm pretty stoked. Few last little bits, and then we're good to go. So thanks for watching. Subscribe. We'll see you next time. Keep it rad.